Welcome back, Endgame community. Week one is rolling, right? We're here. It's finally here. Great to be back. And if you're new to the channel, if this is your first time watching and you don't know me, my name is Chris Mangano, one half of the Fantasy Football Endgame, along with Pierre Camus, who will be bringing you the wide receiver rankings video. Today, I'm going to bring you our running back rankings video. But before we get to that, a few quick things. Number one, don't forget, if you comment on this video with a question, whether it's a start sit, a trade, whatever it might be, I will respond to every single comment, guaranteed. So if you have a question or about a guy that's not covered in this video, or even about guys that are, drop them in the comments. Number two, you can always join our free Discord server. We would love to have you in our community. Not only can you ask start, sit, trade, waiver wire questions in there and get answers from Pierre and myself, but also from a bunch of other really smart people. So check the description below. There's a link. Join us. It's a great place. It's positive. It's fun. It's a great place to be all season long. And then finally, don't forget, on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we are going to be live here on YouTube doing our best to answer every single start sit question before the games. I'm expecting it to be packed. I'm expecting to have a ton of questions, but we are going to do our best to get through all of them. And then just finally, last thing, if at any point during this video you find it helpful, informative, entertaining, whatever it might be, would love it if you give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to build the most positive, best, fastest growing fantasy football community in the world. We feel we are doing that. We feel we have the best community. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. We'd love to have you join us. So with all that out of the way, let's get into week one running back rankings, and let's start with the top five. And no surprise, Christian McCaffrey at number one. He's been number one all offseason. No reason to drop him going against the Jets. Nothing to be scared of there. Number two, got Dalvin Cook. Again, nothing to be worried about here. In fact, this is a great spot against the Bengals, so start Dalvin Cook with confidence. Number three, I have Alvin Kamara going up against Green Bay. I moved Kamara up to number three in our draft rankings after Jameis Winston was named the starter. Green Bay, definitely a defense to attack for running backs. And even if the Saints fall behind in this game, he can't get game scripted out because of his work pass catching wise. Number four, got Derrick Henry going up against Arizona. The Cardinals, not a strong run defense here in Arizona. Tennessee favored in this game. So game script should certainly favor Derrick Henry. We know what he does in positive game script games. Expect a big one from Derrick Henry this week. Number five, a bit of a surprise. I got James Robinson. If you watched our start sit videos, I had James Robinson as a must start. It looks like he's going to be a 70% snap running back, which is very rare in today's game. And he's got a great matchup against the Houston Texans, who have basically nothing on either side of the ball. It's a complete fire sale over there. They are on a total tank job this year. So if you got James Robinson, fire him up with confidence. Now let's move into numbers 6 through 10. At number 6, I have Nick Chubb going against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, they might fall behind here, but it doesn't matter. Nick Chubb's going to be involved. Even if Cleveland falls behind a little bit, they'll still rely on Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb's going to have a great game. Nothing to worry about here with the Chiefs. And as you're going to see, we have a lot of running backs in tough spots this week. So I got Nick Chubb at number 6. Coming in at number 7 is Jonathan Taylor. Not the greatest matchup going against Seattle, but we know he's going to get the volume. We know he's a good enough player. I think he gets by on volume this week at number 7. Number 8, I have Austin Ekeler against the football team. Now, on paper, this is a tough matchup, but we don't really worry about matchups with Austin Ekeler because we're looking at his work in the passing game. Now, the concern here for Austin Ekeler, obviously, is he didn't practice on Wednesday, dealing with some sort of hamstring injury. So you got to really monitor how they use him this week. If he's limited on Thursday and is full on Friday, then he's good to go. If not, you're going to have to make other plans. But as of now, I have him at 8. At number 9, I have Antonio Gibson on the other side of that game. Chargers, a tough matchup, but kind of like Jonathan Taylor, I think he's going to see enough volume to give him top 10 upside, especially when you look at some of the matchups some of the other running backs have here coming up. Number 10, I have Aaron Jones. This might be the toughest match. Well, apart from Zeke, this is one of the toughest matchups this week against the New Orleans Saints. I think the positives for Aaron Jones this week is I think the Packers are going to have no problem winning this game. So game script should be in his favor. He should get plenty of work down the stretch. Borderline top 10 for me in a tough matchup. Now let's get to running backs 11 through 15. At number 11, I have Najee Harris in another tough spot against a very good Buffalo defense. But again, volume is going to get him by here. I think he's going to be looking at 20 plus touches in this game. So I'm confident with Najee at number 11. Number 12, I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire in a bit of a better matchup. I know people think Cleveland, tough defense, and they are a very good defense, but they do tend to struggle a bit against the run. I think KC's going to be up in this game. I think we're going to see a lot of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think he's going to have a nice game. I have him at number 12. And then at number 13, Ezekiel Elliott in the toughest matchup of the week, not only against that Tampa Bay run defense, which is probably the best or one of the best in the NFL, but also missing Zach Martin, one of the best run blocking guards in the NFL. Again, volume keeps Zeke in that low end RB1 discussion, or high end RB2, I guess, here at number 13. But in this matchup, can't have him any higher than that. Better days are ahead for Zeke, though. Don't worry, better days are ahead. Then at number 14, I have Joe Mixon against Minnesota. A decent front there in Minnesota. Obviously, the offensive line is a concern in Cincinnati. But again, I think Joe Mixon sees enough volume this week, especially in the passing game, to keep him firmly inside the top 15. And then rounding out the top 15, I have David Montgomery against the Rams. Again, another stout run defense. But once again, like the other guys ahead of him, volume should be enough for him here to crack the top 15. Now let's go to numbers 16 through 20. At 16, I have Miles Sanders. Not where I normally would rank him, but he does have one of the better matchups this week against Atlanta. The problem for Miles Sanders, why I have him outside the top 15, even though he has a better matchup, is volume. Probably going to be a three-way committee between him, Boston Scott, and Kenneth Gainwell. So volume just might not be there for Miles Sanders this week. But we know in plus matchups, he's got the upside. He can always hit a home run. So 16 seems right. And then right behind him, I have Saquon Barkley, who, I've been talking up all off season long, but there's a couple things this week to be a little nervous about Saquon Barkley. Number one, we don't know how much he's going to play. And number two, it's a very tough matchup against a very underrated, almost elite Denver defense. So with those two things in mind, I can't rank him too high. Still have him inside top 20, still have him at number 17. I still think he's a fine start this week, assuming he's cleared to play, which all signs point to happening. Just can't have him too high yet, but don't worry, just like Zeke, better days are ahead for Saquon Barkley. And then at number 18, I have Chris Carson going against the Colts. The Colts run defense, it's good. It's not elite, but it's good. But still, I think Chris Carson's involved enough, especially in the passing game, to pay off value here. And then at number 18, I have a guy I talked about. If you watched our start-sit running back video, Raheem Mostert, one of the best matchups of the week. Honestly, he could definitely finish higher than 18th. I just can't rank him ahead of those other guys, but this is a great spot for Raheem Mostert. So if you have a guy like Austin Eckler who maybe won't play, or maybe Saquon Barkley that you're a little nervous about, I think Raheem Mostert is a great pivot this week. And while I'm talking about him, I do also want to talk about Trey Sermon. I like Trey Sermon. I just think Mostert will be more involved this week than Trey Sermon, but I do like Trey Sermon, have him just outside the top 25. So if you're desperate and you have Trey Sermon, I think he's also a nice start this week. Then we got at number 20, rounding out the top 20, Gus Edwards in a great matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. Should be able to run wild against these guys. The only downside here is the lack of passing game work, but if you're in a non-PPR league, I'd probably have him even higher than this. Has a great chance to put up, a 100-yard game and a touchdown against this hapless Raiders defense. And then finally, let's round out the top 24. At number 21, I have Myles Gaskin. All those concerns about him being in some kind of split with Malcolm Brown and Salvon Ahmed have been put to bed. He looks like the clear-cut guy there. Going against New England, which you think is a tough matchup, but it's really not. They did struggle against the run last year. Now, they did improve that run defense a little bit this year. So not a great matchup, but still a good matchup. Got Myles Gaskin at 21. Coming in at 22, Mike Davis in another great spot against Philadelphia. Not a run defense you need to be terrified about. My worry for Mike Davis is just the Falcons tend to lean more on the pass than the run. I don't know what kind of volume he's going to see, but this is definitely a high upside matchup for Mike Davis. So if you've got him, you should feel confident starting him this week. Then at number 23, another one of our must-start running backs. That was Kareem Hunt in that KC matchup. Pierre talked about him on our start-'em, sit-'em video for running backs, which you should definitely check out. Talked about how they could be behind this game. They could be needing to throw a bit more, which definitely favors Kareem Hunt there in the passing game. And then rounding out my top 24, I have my favorite running back, Damien Harris. If you listened to me at all during the offseason, you know I'm very low on Damien Harris. But he's got the matchup this week against Miami. Miami, they have a very good defense, but they're not particularly strong against the run. I think Damien Harris, kind of like Gus Edwards, can put up 100 yards and a touchdown this week. So there you go, guys. There are my top 24 running back rankings for week 1. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. And again, if you have questions about any of these players I covered or any players I didn't, drop it below. I answer every single comment on every single video, so you will get your question answered. And once again, guys, don't forget, Discord channel, link in the description. Hop in there. Awesome community we're building in there. Awesome environment. Game day is going to be so exciting. Can't wait. And of course, don't forget our live show Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. We will answer as many start-sit questions as we possibly can. And finally, if you found it helpful, enjoyable, entertaining, whatever, would love it if you click that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be bringing you amazing content like this all season long to help you win and dominate your fantasy leagues. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.